Hey everybody, Melinda Wasser here with my friend Melinda McMahon. I hope everybody's having a good day today. Melinda has been she's like one of the first members of the Facebook group. So we've been hanging out for a while, which has been a lot of fun. And we even met each other, right, in person?
Yep.
In San Antonio, Texas, which is not where either one of us lives, but we were at the IVA conference last May. So this has been a real treat to also have her be one of the graduates of the first VA Connection Launchpad course that we're going to talk about today. So before we jump into Melinda's experiences and we hear all about her business, I just want to take a minute to talk about what the VA Launchpad is. So for those of you who are just joining us or don't know yet, you'll know what the heck we're talking about. So I have a class, it's called the VA Launchpad, and it's starting up again next Thursday. And it's a 12-week program. We get together every week for an hour. And typically what happens is I talk for 45 minutes or so and on a topic about how to either get clients, figure out your pricing, or put a really strong foundation underneath your business. And then we open it up for questions, and people can ask questions about anything, whether we've covered it or not, which is always one of my favorite parts of it. In addition to those 12 sessions, so we meet in Zoom, so we're all together, we get to know each other, and there are 2 strategy sessions, which is an add-on from our last course, where you'll have one-on-one time with me anytime along the way to get questions answered and get things unstuck or moving again if you want some help. In addition to that, you'll have lifetime access to a vault I've created of the Rocket Girl Show, where I walk through on video twice a week tips and tricks on how to make your business better as a virtual assistant. And I have plans to add 2 a week for as long as I can see, so it'll be a kind of a rich place to get information. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about. And like I said, Melinda is a recent fairly recent grad. So Melinda, where are you located?
I am in Township, Ohio, which is about 45 minutes north of Cincinnati.
Oh wow, okay, that's awesome. And tell me a little bit about why did you decide to become a VA? What was the draw for you?
Well, the draw for me actually happened probably 10 years ago when I was in the corporate world. I was actually helping my vice president talk to somebody in Chicago, and when I was talking to their administrator, they were in California, and I didn't know how to make the connection. I finally said to her, I said, how can you be in California when your manager is in Chicago? She was a virtual admin. So I had always kept her name, and I had actually discussed it with my vice president, and I said, oh my God, I just had this great conversation with this virtual admin. And he's like, what's that? So I explained to him about it and how I had talked to her, and he said, well, when you retire, you need to do that. And I said, yeah, okay, fine, sure, someday. Well, that someday came last year, and I had always kept in touch with that vice president because he was just a phenomenal person. And today I am now working for him virtually. He is in Palo Alto, California. I am in Cincinnati, and I just spent 2 days with him in California. So it's kind of like it came full circle.
Yeah, it's like be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah, or it's a good thing, because if you think about it, you're doing what you know. You're still reinventing yourself, which is always a good thing to do, because he was also the one to say you need to reinvent yourself every 5 years. So I still feel like I've done that. I've reinvented myself, but now I'm my own boss.
Right. Well, you've really upgraded yourself and brought yourself current.
Exactly.
I know in 2008, when there was the big crash, I remember at that point I'd started an online store, and I watched my neighbor completely his career blow up because he was selling print ads, and there was kind of no such thing, in the scope that he was doing it. And so I applaud you for doing that and really keeping current. Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Yep.
So when you signed up for the course, what were you hoping to learn? What were the things that attracted you to the course?
I think the most important thing that attracted me was, how do I survive, quote unquote, in the outside world?
Mm-hmm.
Where when you're
Yeah.
in a corporate environment, you're told you're going to use this system, you're going to use this system, you're going to do things this way, you're going to do expense reports this way. You're just always told what systems you can use, and you can't ever deviate. I mean, that was my experience in the corporate world. So I think what I wanted to get out of the class, and what I did get out of the class, was I learned how to survive on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt unleashed, so to speak, like, oh, I could use that program. I don't have to use this program. So that was
Right. It's interesting because when I talk to new VAs, I was talking to a woman earlier this week, and it's kind of like a free fall. I think it can feel like that. I know for me that it did because, I've always had my own computer, but I've talked to people who think, well, I have to buy a computer and I have to buy software, and
Mhm.
and then there's the whole I get to side of it as
Mhm.
well, which is really great.
Mhm.
So, and the thing is that I love about teaching this course is that you absolutely have the skills. You have amazing skills, but to your point, setting up a business is it's a
Totally.
different way of thinking. And I think, and I talk about this in the class, you'll be probably could say this the same way I can, is that it's important to think of your business as a business. You're not a helper or someone sitting outside someone's door. You really have to put that structure in place, so you can set your prices, you can set your hours, you can set the boundaries up around you.
Yep.
So awesome. Well, if somebody is thinking about taking this course and they had hesitation, what were maybe some of your hesitations, and what would you say to them?
Well, honestly, I don't think I had any hesitations. I think when you are trying to set up your own business, and you're going to be doing it on your own, you shouldn't hesitate. Any class you take is knowledge you're going to have, and knowledge you need. You're just kind of creating a different learning experience.
Right.
And if you think about your class that you offered to us, the value that you gave us for a very nominal fee, you can't beat it. You can't take a computer class for what we learned in the 12 weeks that we were with you.
Yeah, thank you.
And to know that if a question is raised in the class and you're running out of time, that I still have access to you. You don't even get that if you say I were to take a computer class at, the local, college. You don't get that. When you're at the door, you're gone.
Right. And I don't really mention that actually. I didn't mention that earlier, that there is access to me. So I know several times participants have, they emailed me a question and I would just shoot them a video, either showing the software application, or, so I don't want anyone taking the course to be stuck. This is really all about trying to put a strong foundation underneath you so that, you can get moving. So
Well, I can honestly say that even if I hadn't met you in San Antonio, I was talking to you before we even went to San Antonio, and I had found your name in the booklet for IVA and said, oh, I think I'm going to reach out to her. So I think even if I hadn't met you, just knowing, that you have been in the field for as long as you have, and your stuff, I'd have taken the class anyway. So I can't say there was anything that I hesitated about. I just did it.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what does your business look like before the class, and what does it look like now?
Well, I would say before I started the class, I think I only had, trying to remember, I think I only had 2 people I worked for.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a consulting group where there's, I don't know, maybe 25 retired vice presidents in the group, but I worked for the managing director. So that was that one person. And then the other person was just kind of like, it wasn't really even VA work. It was just doing their mail.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I was when I started with you. Now I have another person who's starting up a hair care business, and she's the CEO of a Latin hair care company. So I'm working for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still with a consulting group. I'm working for my ex-vice president in Palo Alto. I'm still doing the mail because I can't give that up because they're just great people. So I actually have 5 people. I'm trying to remember who my 5th one is. Anybody? I forgot who they are.
That happens to me too. It definitely does. I'll get an email. I'm like, oh, right.
Yes, I do. My 5th person, I do remember them now, and they are another consulting service, another retired vice president. Sorry.
Well, they're not in our group, so don't worry.
No. So so I'm up to 5, and I don't know. I think I would take on one more. I just don't know if I want to take on more than that, because for me, I want to do some other things too. And that's the beauty of being a virtual assistant. I can say, hey, you have me for 4 hours a day, or you have me for an hour, or, if it's something really urgent, you can text me and then I will get to whatever it is within 2 hours. Cause I could be at a movie.
Right.
Because I worked for I worked for over 37 years in a corporate environment. So I like being able to know I can be done at 4. I can go pick up my granddaughter. Mm-hmm. And there's no like, oh no, you need to get this done. You can't leave until it's done.
Right.
Do it. I can get back to her when she goes to bed. So
exactly.
It's a beautiful thing.
I know. It's really good. I know today I've been pleasantly interrupted with a lot of fun stuff going on. And it is nice not to have that feeling of, someone's watching me or I can't do that. And I know I have friends with jobs and I can't text them during the day because the text message might pop up at the wrong time, and their boss will be like, what are you doing? So there is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm, it is. It's liberating for sure.
For sure.
So, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you popping in here like this. This is the second time I've done an interview like this. We talked to Nancy earlier this week, and I have to say I've seen people do this, but it's really easy and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, anybody who watches this, don't hesitate, just do it.
Well, thank you. And we've got 6 seats left. So since I'm trying to remember, 3 people signed up. I do remember 3 people signed up today. I was just trying to remember last time I was in the group how many people had signed up, but there's 6 seats left. And if anybody's not sure and they want to talk to me about it, I would love to do that because I really want people who are ready to roll. So you can either text me or call me at 617-755-6010. I'll take your call. If I'm on the phone, leave a voicemail, or like I said, shoot me a text. And I'll put also a link to get on my calendar in this stream. So I'd love to talk to you, love to see if this is for you, and have a great day. And thanks again, Melinda. It's great to see you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.